Melissa has become a major hurricane. Good Saturday evening. I'm Mike Nasa with this latest 11 p.m. update on the hurricane. Melissa strengthened into a hurricane Saturday afternoon, Category 1. By the evening, it was a Category 2, and now at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, it is a Category 3, which officially makes it a major hurricane, and it is forecast to become a Category 4, and then actually become a very rare, powerful Category 5 hurricane prior to impacting Jamaica. Look at that satellite. This is definitely a hurricane. It has a 17-mile wide eye. The aircraft have been zigzagging around out there, seeing falling pressures down into the 960s, 967 millibars, and that's going to continue to drop. We're going to continue to see the winds go up, and Melissa will intensify even further. Here's the latest on Hurricane Melissa as of 11 p.m. Eastern Time. It was at 16.4 north, 75.9 west. That puts it about 125 miles south-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. Okay? It is moving very slowly, crawling to the west at 3, maybe even a little south of west motion there. And the pressure, as I mentioned, 967 millibars. Now, the forecast, this is the 3-day track. I put on the 3-day to show you that between Saturday night and Tuesday night, Melissa is not expected to move much from that circle I just drew, and that means significant, constant, heavy flooding rains. Not to mention the fact that around the eye is expected to be a Category 5 hurricane at times. So this is a very bad situation, particularly for that piece of land dead set in the path of the hurricane, Jamaica. There is a hurricane warning for Jamaica. All preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. Mass evacuations, getting people away from the coastline, and getting ready to ride out the storm if you can't get away from it. We also have a hurricane watch for Haiti and Cuba. Eastern Cuba, you guys are going to get hit sometime late Tuesday, early Wednesday, and Melissa should still be a major hurricane, Category 3 at least, by the time it hits Cuba. So don't think you're out of this. Now, when we extend the track to days 4 and 5, then we talk about the southeastern Bahamas, potentially the Turks and Caicos on Wednesday. By Thursday, it should be over the Atlantic, but Bermuda, you'd have to watch it. Nevertheless, in the next 2 or 3 days, the focus is going to be down here in the Caribbean Sea. Oh, this is not good, guys. This is not good. Look at these gray clouds here. These are very cold cloud tops. And what happens is as the air rises, it gets towards the center of the storm and it starts to fall through the center. And that's where you get the calm clearing of the eye. The eye is beginning to show there on the infrared satellite with a perfect ring of deep thunderstorm cold cloud tops. That looks set to blow. I've seen this before. I've been tracking hurricanes for close to 30 years, and when you see this, believe me, it is bad news all around. So Melissa is likely to become a Category 4 hurricane by this time tomorrow night, although it could be by the time you see this update in the early morning hours if that satellite signature holds up. There's the radar. This is from Brian McNulty's radar page. Very nice radar image. It's kind of prehistoric looking because Jamaican radar is, kind of pixelated, but look at that well-defined eye showing up, deep thunderstorms right around the eye wall there. That is indicative of a quick strengthening hurricane, so you'll likely see it bottom out very, very quickly here. It's already a Category 3, and just after lunch today it was a Category 1, so it has gone from 75 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour to 115, and it's going to probably peak as a Category 5 before turning and striking Jamaica sometime either late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. It could be like a 5 a.m. Tuesday type of thing. I'll show you that in a second. Now, what are we talking about? Well, Category 5 with winds, that's catastrophic winds. When you're up 160, 165 miles an hour, that's as bad as it gets with wind speed. And remember, that's the sustained wind. So there could be periods of time in the eye wall right at the coast. If it makes landfall at that strength, you get that straight line wind of 150, 60 miles per hour with higher gusts on top of that. So you're talking gusts that could reach close to the 200 mile an hour range in a Category 5 hurricane. Just a very, very intense storm. Where are we at right now? We're at a low-end Category 3, so we're definitely in the extensive, making our way towards devastating winds. But again, you know, Saturday afternoon, this went from here to here, and at that rate, it shouldn't take long to get even higher than that. Now, what's steering this thing? We have this mid-level ridge here, and that's keeping the system. It hung it up the last few days. That's why Melissa meandered here south of Haiti. Now it's starting to move west, maybe even a little south of west. It's going to kind of wobble. And those wobbles are very important for an island like Jamaica, because when you're dealing with those winds right around the eye, if you miss the eye wall by 20 miles, you could go from 50-mile-an-hour winds where you are, but your neighbor 20 miles down the road could have 150-mile-an-hour winds. So it's very, very important, these little wobbles. And sometimes when they get near the island terrain, they like to dance around the island. That's why, believe it or not, there hasn't been a hurricane above 130-mile-an-hour Category 4, the low end of Category 4, ever to hit Jamaica on record going back 150 years or so. And we've had a few bad ones, but it's because the island's kind of shaped here like a sausage patty, and it's hard to get them to go right over. Gilbert did in 1988, and Hurricane Charlie, the not 2004 Charlie in Florida, but Abel Baker Charlie, the 1951 Charlie crossed Jamaica. So it does happen, but usually they head just south or they kind of dance around. So the forecast with this one is that as this ridging gets eroded by this troughiness moving through the southeast U.S., you're going to see a very abrupt northward turn and then northeast right into Jamaica and Cuba. That is why the track is the way it is. But in the meantime, the next 4 days, look at these rainfall amounts. In areas of Haiti, 30 inches or higher. Areas of Jamaica, 40 inches or higher of rain. When you're dealing with Haiti, a third world country like that, if it rains for 5 minutes, there's mudslide potential. You drop 20, 30, 40 inches of rain, and it is a very, very serious threat of really historic type flooding. So if you're near water, make sure you get to higher ground before this happens, because flash flooding happens very, very quickly. And I show this graph occasionally because it really gives a good idea of the speed of the storm. If you get a storm moving 10 miles an hour, oh, maybe 10 inches of rain, with exceptions to that, but generally we're talking 30, 40 inches off my chart here because the motion's so slow. So the slower the speed of the hurricane, the higher the rainfall potential. The key messages from the National Hurricane Center on Hurricane Melissa. Number 1 for Jamaica, seek shelter now. A multi-day period of damaging winds, life-threatening rainfall have begun, and it will cause catastrophic and life-threatening flash flooding and numerous landslides. For Jamaica, you're going to have extensive infrastructure damage, long duration, power, communication outages. Communities will be isolated. This Jamaica is not exactly well equipped in some areas for a storm that's a major hurricane, let alone if it does make landfall as predicted as a Category 4 or 5. It's just very historic and devastating. Life-threatening storm surge is also likely along the south coast. Remember, a Category 4 or 5 hurricane, wherever the onshore flow pushes, you will have that storm surge. And with a Category 4 or 5, you could deal with 20 feet of storm surge, with higher waves on top of that crashing. Number 2 for Haiti, catastrophic and life-threatening flash flooding and landslides, southwest Haiti. Remember, 30 inches or more of rain. Extensive infrastructure damage and isolation of communities possible. These third world countries cannot handle the flooding. That's where most people die. I remember when I was 10 years old, in October 1998, Hurricane Mitch buried itself down here near Honduras and set the country, nation of Honduras, back about 50 years. There were communities buried that are probably still buried today, literally. It was that bad. Number 3, Dominican Republic, heavy rainfall through the middle of next week. That extends beyond where Haiti is. Numerous catastrophic flash flooding, landslides possible in the southern portion of the country. And finally, for eastern Cuba, you are under a hurricane watch. The Southeast Bahamas, Turks, and Caicos monitor Melissa closely. There is an increasing risk of a significant storm surge, damaging wind, and heavy rainfall threat by the middle of next week. In eastern Cuba, life-threatening flash flooding and landslide risk is increasing. A hurricane watch is in effect. That will become a warning when we get within 24 hours or so, so probably by Monday, if not even before, we'll see hurricane warnings go up for areas there of eastern Cuba. For anybody who can't speak English, here's Spanish down there. There you go. The latest on the hurricane. And again, this is a very, very serious threat. It looks like it's going to become a Category 4. And look at this. As I do this update, right now I'm looking at the time. It's 11:13 p.m. By the time you see this update, it could be even stronger than what you're seeing right now. This is a rapidly intensifying hurricane. So even though the forecast has it reaching Category 4 in, say, 15 hours, it could reach it in 5 hours. It happens very quickly. There in red is the south coast of Jamaica. All preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. We have a day or two before landfall, but the weather is going to go downhill as we are forecasting a Category 4 or 5 landfall of an extremely dangerous hurricane that will devastate the island of Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa. I'm Mike Naso with this Saturday night update. I'll talk to you. We'll be back with frequent video updates on dangerous Melissa.